I'm coming, I'm coming. But I just had this whole change of heart, this whole change of idea. And I had to go back to the drawing board and get my papers out. So, yesterday, if you were with us, welcome to the studio at Two Girls Treasure. I'm Diane Pruitt. I'm so glad to see you. We did this with the Belsnickel mold casting, with our Winter Grove stamps, and with our flurry stamps, and with some of our Pentart snow crystal. Um, he's so cute. I love him. But I'm very frugal, y'all. I am. And if I have a frame that I can use both sides, I want to. Because I can put this up for one season, I can put this up for the next. Well, I was getting ready to do this from Christmas into winter, but you know what? I'm skipping an entire section, and Halloween's not my favorite holiday. I'll just be honest. It's my sister's, it's not mine. But harvest season is. So we're not going to skip harvest season. We're going to set winter to the side for right this minute, for just a minute. And we're going to take a look at some papers because I have some spooky and I have some harvesty. Now, I do love the old barns. I really do. I just think those are lovely. But I don't think that is the look I'm going for here. I love the harvest colors with the butterflies because this is that time of year. Now, this is really spooky, but this is really large. I think if we were to use this, we would lose some of the definition of that paper. I bought this for someone, and here it sits. Another reason why we do not carry, why we have discontinued carrying decoupage papers, because there's a lot. There's too much. Now, this has always been one of my favorites. It's not spooky, it's not harvesty, it's very woodsy. And since I live in the woods, I like that. Let's see what else we have. This one, again, not really spooky, kind of woodsy, and I love that. That little piece right there doesn't look more like a rock. It looks more like some kind of weird. It looks like Chewbacca, to be honest. This is spooky, which kind of fits the theme of Belsnickel, to be honest with you, because Belsnickel's all about spooky. This is too big. It's kind of cute. Lots of cats, too big. That's a great background. I think for anything, that's a great background. All right, hang on. These are rolling. The little chipmunk is super cute. So's the little chipmunk in the sunflower. I don't think we would lose a thing by utilizing this chipmunk and sunflower. I don't think we'd lose anything by using this. Kind of cute. I like that. Squirrel, stripes, a fox, the skulls, the barns again. That's really cute, but it's very big. Very big. We could use this, but we'd lose a lot. And that's super cute. I guess we need to do some Halloween things because we have not done any sort of harvesty things. That's spooky and harvesty all at the same time. That's great. That's kind of cool. That has the owl and the woods and the lanterns. I do like that. I'll be honest, I do like that one. I do. We have a lot of Halloween and fall themed papers. These are in the studio. If you would like to do a studio session with decoupage, you come on, because we're doing things with them here in the studio. These are not on the shelves. pulled everything because they're absorbing a lot of retail space, and they're just sort of sitting there, just sort of sitting there. I don't like the Scully thing, but she's kind of. I think I have some to choose from. I do, and these are all the same. All right, we're going to move all of these out of the way because I think we have the ones we really need to look at. I love the little chipmunk. Don't think this is what I want. They're spooky, and I think I'll save that for a bigger project. So we're down to 2, 3, 4 images. So I have pumpkins and the woods with lanterns and pumpkins, and spooky in the woods. That one's pretty cool. That one's pretty cool. I like the owl more than anything. Yeah, I like the owl. We have a winner. We have our backside. So I'm going to cut this on the white line, but we may go ahead. You know how I like to dampen our rice paper and peel the edges so that I can shade this in. And I think, oh yeah, that's perfect. So I will mark, I'm just going to make an impression where the edges need to bring that right down to there. Let me tip you down so you can see what I'm doing. And welcome in and good morning. All right, so I'm going to lay the paper on, make sure it's straight, and I'm just going to run my fingernail into the groove right there. And that is the portion that will be on the board for our spooky. And I like that. It really does fit with the theme of Belsnickel, because if you have not looked up Belsnickel, you need to. Belsnickel is a German thing, which is why yesterday it was so cool to do that project. My mother was German. My mother was German descent, and it showed. But Belsnickel was a German folklore character, and I get it. I really do. Like, if I had been a German parent with bad children, that would have been, Belsnickel would have been the thing. And they grew up in a tougher time than we did. Like, their times were hardcore. They grew up hardcore. I saw a truck today, a tour bus, and it said hardcore. We just were born different. No, baby. Y'all don't know what hardcore is. All right, this one. I just like to wet the rice paper and pull the edges. I think it's cool. It's like peeling glue off your hands. I'm going to be honest. I like that too. But it is the finish that it gives you to work with that I love the most. There are times where I do like the squared, crisp edges, but most of the projects I do, I like to blend the paint out. So the squared edges don't really do me a lot of good. And I just like that little tattered look on here. There we go. I only need a little bit off this edge. This is the edge that was against the other image. So I don't need a lot off. I just need just a touch. All right, all that's done. All that is done. So now we can lay this image in, but we need to paint it because this light green is not the right color. I should do the pumpkin one, not this one. You don't like this one? There's pumpkins here. See? We could do the pumpkin on another one. I've already shredded this. So my midnight paint is right here. I don't need the big one. I'm going to use the one from yesterday because I watered it down, and that's what I'm looking for. That's not the paintbrush I want. Isn't that funny? I'm fussy about paintbrushes too. So we're going to take, just like we did yesterday with Farmhouse Navy in the midnight, we're going to take our midnight and we are going to run it over the top. And then we're going to take our Pine Shadow, which is one of our darkest single color greens. This is all Rethunk Junk Natural. So let's go ahead and just brush the midnight in over our entire surface on this side. You know what? We can do the pumpkins tomorrow. I have an idea. Okay. There we go. Crack this open. And then we'll get some of this Pine Shadow on here. Get it blended real well with that midnight. I might even want a little bit more midnight. I'm going to set our paper to the side and I'm going to turn the fan on. I want this to dry quickly. Sorry. I was putting it right in front of the fan. Didn't realize it was all the way out of the frame. That's a pretty good blend. These edges are what I want more than anything because the paper will cover that center, but it won't cover these edges. So I'm going to go ahead and texture this before I lay the paper down. And all I'm doing to texture it is just tamp my brush all around. That black midnight and that Pine Shadow green, they went in real nice together right there. All right, let's dry this quickly. Then let's crank it up on high if we're going to do that. I'm going to wipe the edges. We're going to do a thing with the edges of this since we're duplicating, since we're using two. We've got a 2-for-1 deal here on our board. On one side, we have the harvest and the Halloween. On the other side, we have the Christmas, the German type Christmas. I might send this to my sister. I haven't sent her anything in a little while. Why not? Why haven't I sent her something good? Have you sent your sister something lately? Or your mom? And I'm going to break out some Getting Salty after we do our Rethunk Gunk Decoupage Medium. This stuff is good. Let's shake it while we're waiting. And I'm going to grab another one of my, these are some of my favorite paintbrushes, y'all. I got 2 brand new ones yesterday from the big craft store, day before yesterday. Love those brushes. And there's some bigger ones that I like to get. They didn't have them. I'll get them next time, though. All right, this is just about dry. I'm going to knock that off of there and dip that little crust out. I don't know how it got crusty between yesterday and today, but it darn sure did. I'm going to go ahead and wipe this top side right now. And just inside that lip edge. Oh, you know, I guess I didn't use this yesterday. I guess I used it over the weekend. All right. We can clean this up later. But for now, let's cut that back. And we're going to go right here. Oh, I love that marbling look around it. That's going to be cool. All right. Let's go ahead and put our Rethunk Gunk Decoupage Medium on. This is part of our Rethunk Junk by Laura paint line, and we carry all the products. We are coming up on a huge anniversary with Rethunk Junk. Can't wait to share that with you. But our Rethunk Gunk is a great product because, as you see, I can put it on. I don't need to dry it first. Then I just lay my image down. Now, I did dampen that before I laid it in. I like to do that. Am I straight? I think so. Unlike some other products, once I lay this down, I can take my brush and my gunk and I can go ahead and put my next coat on top, and this seals this. So if I wanted to stop right here and call it a day, I absolutely can. I'm not going to, but I could. I'm just saying. But I could. This will dry white. It seals your work. Since I dampened it, there's no bubbles. I don't need to use heat. This is good right here. This is good. Look how cool that is. Look at that marbling with the black and the green. That's kicking it. All right, we're going to set that brush in. We're going to close up our gunk so we don't dry it out. I have gray, but I think gray is a little bit light. I don't want to fog gray into green, although I could if I had slate. Let's see if we have some slate on the shelf. What color is that? That is taupe, not what we're looking for. Ooh, we have majestic pine over here. That is dark, dark green. And we have some gray. Let me see what the girls put on the shelf. Oh, no, that's taupe, that's taupe, that's taupe. That's crazy. No gray. Oh, you know what I bet they did? I'm looking on the wrong shelf. I love my girls. I do. They did a great job. But they put everything on one shelf. That's coastal. That's not what I want. I'll never find it in here. Slate, found it. Golly. Getting to it, though. Completely different challenge. Okay. They did Olympic paint racking. Slate and majestic pine. This was a limited edition color. That's even darker than pine shadow. Let's see what we have in here. And see how it dried. And you don't even see, not even the brush strokes from the Rethunk Gunk. So we're going to turn that down on low. It's still damp, but it is drying. And I'm going to grab another one of these brushes. I do go through a lot of brushes every day. Ooh, this one's going to be tough to open. Just need a little tool. I've made such a giant mess of products on this table and not one paint opening tool. And I have 500 of them. There they are. Just out of my reach. Okay. Golly. This one doesn't want to open. Oh, perfect. Look at that beautiful color. This is Majestic Pine. It's a limited edition color, and we do still have some. All right, let's get our slate. This is a great color, too. We're going to fog these edges right here. I don't want that white outline. I still want that little textural marbled finish. I need a little piece of paper towel. And then we will just repeat. And I love, love the slate, but I am going to bring some black into it. All the way to those edges. Now, I love my glitter, but I don't see glitter needing to be part of this. But I do love the spooky here. And I don't like spooky. I like the woods part. I do like that. I like the owl, and y'all know Scott's gonna go, "You do what?" Because I am not a huge fan of owls. Ask me sometime, we can talk about it, but I'm not a huge fan of owls. But look how awesome that is now. I like that. It will open anti-clockwise. I am not really sure what that means, honey. Anti-clockwise means it will open not clockwise, but what's opening? Oh, you talking about my paint? No, unfortunately, it won't do that. And I know what you mean now. I get it. I totally get it. So this is a resin paint, and if the rings of the paint are gummed up, like this seems to be, it will weld itself shut. And it was on a back shelf, so it hasn't been open for a little while. It's a problem child. That's all. How cool. Now I have Scott's bringing me some batteries, so we can run the fairy lights on this side. I do want fairy lights around it because super cute. And then once that season is over, we can swap and we can run the fairy lights on the inside. Now we have this super duper 2-for-1, and I like it. I'm not done because this is great. This looks good, but this to me is not complete because we need, I would like to put some trimmings around the edge, something that makes sense for both seasons. And that to me would be our brand new Hazel and Bay mold set. So let me pull that out from the stack without knocking the world over. This is Hazel and Bay, and I think we could utilize this portion right here. I think it will fit the edging mostly. It's a little large, isn't it? Maybe we need a little bit smaller trimmings mold set because this is wide. Let's do a little measurement here. So side to side on our largest section, the Hazel and Bay is 2¼ inches, and this is only 1¾ So with clay we could manipulate it. We could let it overhang onto this side, and you know what? Let's try it. Let's try that. I want to do a thing, and maybe we can create a look that will suit both of those seasons. I'm going to turn the fan off. You can see okay. Move that back because I don't need any of that yet. Although, I wonder what happens when we mix resin dye in our clay. Has anybody ever done that? Today's probably not the day to experiment with that. I think every day is a day to experiment, but perhaps not this one. So I'm going to go ahead and flatten this. Well, that didn't give me much more than I'm working with, did it? That is about the width of what we need right there. So I wonder if we just go with this. Let's see. Now shallow cast it without dusting it. I should know better. Let's see if it'll roll out. It will as long as I don't get fast. All right, let's scooch this down a little bit. Here we go. Ta-da! Shallow cast, successful. Now let's see what this looks like when we lay it. So not only did we shallow cast it, but we did not cast the entire width. And that gives us a really cool start to a frame. I like that. I kind of like that. Although I'm going to be honest, I like it filled in more. I don't know. I think I want it a little bit wide, and I'll show you what I was visualizing. I might cast this one more time. I was kind of visualizing if it was the entire width that we would have a little bit and we could roll it over the sides. Or we could leave it sticking up and that would create a little bit of framework around the lights. I think I'll play with this a little bit more if I get some time. It's Tuesday, so I have some book work to do. I might like that as well. That way we have a little bit of overhang and we can put the lights right there. I think we can run the lights right in here because they're fairy lights, but that'll cast back on this. I don't know. We're going to see. I'm going to experiment with a little bit. I think I might even experiment with the resin dyes. I have a whole box right here in the clay. I'm definitely going to make sure I dust the mold set before I do this again because, yeah, that was messy. But at least now I know that would make a great frame around this. So we'll use our hazel and bay. I'm not going to use the hazel. I'm going to use, no, that's bay. This is hazel. I'll use the hazelnut trimmings, but I think I'm going to dye my clay so that when I put it on, we have the look. And I'm going to go ahead and paint these edges. I'm going to do that with our black. Might incorporate a little green. I love this. Not a huge fan of Halloween, but I kind of like the spooky right here. I hope you do too. Simple, easy. Now we have 2 for 1 because if you're going to buy a frame that you can use 1 image for, you might as well flip it around and do 2 so that you get the most for your money and you get more fun. When the season's over, you just change it. You just change it. I have some ideas about how to hang that too, and I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to experiment in my little bit of spare time I'm going to have today. Not a lot, just a little, but I am going to experiment. So look for the images of the finish or the experiment on our Facebook and Instagram page. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get notified when I finally get in the studio in the morning. I was a little bit late again this morning. Oh my goodness. There's so much to do first thing in the morning. But I'm glad you're here. Thank you so very much. Thank you for the great advice. I'm going to clean these paint jars up before I put them back on the shelf and see if I can't make this a little bit better. So good to be here with you today. Thank you for watching. I'm Diane Pruitt. We're in the studio at Two Girls Treasure. Join us for a studio session. Book yours today online and call us so we can set the appointment. I hope you have a beautiful day. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. I'll see you right back here. Fingers crossed, we're shooting for 9 a.m. on the dot tomorrow morning. We have more to do. Bye, y'all.